As of July 5th of 2026, there are currently 47 volcanoes which are actively erupting around the planet, a total which is 3 more than were erupting last week. One of these erupting volcanoes is Italy's towering Mount Etna volcano, whose summit rises to an elevation of 3,403 meters or 11,165 feet. During parts of the last 2 weeks, Etna has been ejecting lava from its Voragine crater. Some of this lava at times even fed a lava flow that ascended a short distance to the east, which was visible from afar. And now, here are this week's top volcano-related news stories. In Russia, the Mutnovsky volcano erupted for its first time in more than a decade, sending a plume of ash more than 1,000 feet upwards. Meanwhile, in Alaska, despite not producing any notable preceding seismic activity, the Atka volcano erupted anew, with local sensors detecting the volcanic explosion. And in what is this week's top story, after intense unrest, Indonesia's Krakatau volcano finally erupted. But do not worry, despite being quite infamous for producing one of history's deadliest and largest volcanic eruptions in 1883, its current activity thankfully is a far cry from such. What started as weak incandescent seen originating from the island of Atka Krakatau on June 19th actually marked the new growth of a small lava dome from the eastern section of its summit crater. This occurred in an unusually non-explosive manner for Krakatau at first, and I suspect that this brief effusive activity occurred for a key reason. I suspect that this lava that erupted was basaltic andesite magma that had been cooling at shallow depths since the end of 2023. During the time since, it had been degassing, losing one of the key elements that would make an eruption involving it explosive. Thus, when it finally rose to the surface in 2026, gas and volatile poor lava erupted essentially effusively, involving more viscous molten rock than is typical. After that leftover material erupted, newer lava rose and erupted explosively, creating weak, low-level ash emissions via Volcanian eruptions. These repeatedly occurred across the next week, with eruption plumes rising to elevations of up to 4,000 feet. Krakatau's alert level was subsequently raised from yellow to orange on July 2nd, with an increased 3-kilometer exclusion zone in all directions surrounding its main crater. Krakatau has across the last 24 hours returned to lava dome growth, but in my opinion this likely only precedes future explosive activity when sufficient material is erupted to form a plug. Meanwhile, in Russia, the Mutnovsky volcano had been showing minor signs of unrest since early 2025 before the major magnitude 8.8 earthquake struck. Gas emissions and the temperature of its most active crater slowly increased, with a slowly growing chance for a phreatic eruption to take place. Then, more than 14 months after unrest began, Mutnovsky finally erupted anew. Occurring at 8:16 a.m. local time on July 2nd, an explosive eruption sent a plume of ash at least 1,000 feet above the aforementioned crater. This represented Mutnovsky's first eruption since 2013, and there is an increased risk in the short term, in my opinion, for more similar explosions to take place. And in Alaska, despite not being directly preceded by any seismic activity of particular note, the Korovin cone of the Atka volcano erupted anew on June 24th at 5:59 a.m. local time. What occurred was a brief and very small singular explosion that did not even produce a plume large enough to rise above the rim of its Korovin cone, suggesting an eruption plume height of under 450 feet. Since March 2024, Korovin has produced 5 small eruptions consisting each of only one explosion, with this being another example of such. Atka hasn't produced another explosion in the time since, although another such phreatic explosion, in my opinion, remains possible in the short term. And now, here's a quick list of all the world's volcanoes which are currently erupting. Additionally, here are some volcanoes showing signs of unrest which are not erupting as of the recording of this video on July 4th of 2026. As a final note, I would like to thank this channel's patrons on Patreon and channel members on YouTube for supporting my work.